Welcome to the Scoop World Order. Huge win versus Iowa. It is on to Oregon. Did you miss us? Because we missed you. This is going to be a huge show today. Got a very spicy Nevadabuck on the line. We're going to break down some film. I thought the team, tale of two halves. Obviously, I think very highly of Iowa. They are so far outgunned from when they were in their prime a few years ago, but those guys play really hard. They played hard in the first half, and then they self-destructed, and the Bucks took advantage of it. Again, I credit to Ryan Day, the staff, the players. Second half was a whirlwind, and the tornado took over and took out the Hawkeyes in a major fashion. Defense was fantastic. Offense, our skill guys took over. We're going to get into all of it. As always, if you guys enjoy this content, please leave us a like, click subscribe, also click that little alert bell. Again, if you guys love this content, consider subscribing to our Apple Podcast audio format. It's completely free. It is a huge thing for us. Go on your iPhone, search Buckeye Scoop, click on our audio podcast. And again, we just appreciate you guys. As always, I'm going to get right to it. My good friend Nevadabuck, Nevada, tale of two halves. Iowa fought him pretty good in the first half. We were just a little rickety in the first half. The second half turned it up a little bit. Again, I always say, and a lot of really good coaches like Bill Belichick say that, there's more games in football that are lost than won, in my opinion. And, Iowa self-destruct, the turnovers kill you versus you can't do that kind of stuff versus a team like Ohio State. They're going to pile drive you and avalanche you. And that's what happened. And I thought our defense played fantastic. I thought Jack Sawyer was dominating the right tackle all day. It was a severe mismatch at that side. But what are your initial takeaways before we start digging into some film?
I mean, look, so many thoughts. First of all, I'm going to say Will Howard has got to be the most underappreciated player in the history of Ohio State football. I've been doing this a long time, and I have never seen anything like the way that, I thought it used to be bad with Trey Henderson, but this is unbelievable. People talk about Will Howard like the guy's trash. Today, he was only 21 of 25, 4 touchdown passes, 1 rushing TD. And all people want to talk about is the fact that he threw an interception in the first half in the 2-minute drill with no timeouts left, trying to drive to that. Like, I know some of the segment of the fan base is stupid, and I know expectations are really high, and I know some people get drunk during the games. I get that, but oh my gosh, he's now 72% on the year, 12 touchdowns passing, 3 INTs, and 4 rushing touchdowns. We're now our red zone difficulties. Now here's our red zone stats for you guys. I think we're 21 trips to the red zone, 20 TDs, 1 field goal. That's how we've done so far. So I think that's pretty good. Check it. Like I said, I'm not a math guy, but I think 21 for 21 is 100%, and 20 of those being TDs is just kind of nutty. But no, I thought Iowa executed their game plan for a half perfectly. We had 1 possession in the first quarter, scored a touchdown, limited. Got stopped on a 4th and short on our second possession, and then JJ fumbled on the third, and I thought it was just kind of wonky, and until we kind of got the ball back in that abbreviated one, had the interception, but at 7-0 at halftime. That's why you play a full game. And I thought the defense now for the past 18 games, the past 18 games, which would be this season plus the entire season of last year, we are giving up 9.5 points per game. So I don't know what else people want. I know expectations are high. I know people, wait until we play this team, or that means nothing to them. Alabama's struggling with Vanderbilt today. Like, you can only line up and play against who you're playing against. Offensively, I didn't think Chip had a particularly good game the first half. I think he got a little impatient. I didn't think he stuck with the run long enough, because I felt like we could run. They're playing those 2 high safeties, and as you said a million times, when teams play 2 high safeties against us, you should run for 1,000 yards. And we were running for it. We just didn't stick with it enough. And I think Chip kind of went back that a little bit. We kind of balanced things out in the second half. Really got on track, and look, it's kind of a preview of what we're going to do to Michigan. Except for Iowa can throw the ball better than Michigan. Michigan cannot throw the ball at all. So imagine them trying to line up and play smash mouth football against us. Look, we can play. We can play with anybody. And frankly, I thought this was Sonny Styles' coming out party. You know, he is better closer to the line of scrimmage and attacking, and they were using him in run blitz support, and he was creating mayhem. He's not a great pass defender. He's not a great read and react guy, but in a game like this, where he can be in there, use his athleticism, knife into the backfield, make plays in the backfield, I thought he was terrific. Hats off to him. Knowles is a freaking wizard. We don't deserve him. I mean, he is a great defensive coordinator. Our team, you know, we're just so together. It's like there's none of that running around, into the Kerry Combs era, which I know that was bad. That's certainly the low water mark. But it just felt like we were so unorganized. Guys were running on and off the. None of that happens anymore. We're very together. Hey, we may give up some plays and we may miss some tackles or give some third downs, but geez, we are giving up 9.5 points a game over the past 18. Just another step. We don't need to be perfect. We don't need to win the national championship this week. We just needed to get better, avoid injury. We did all those things on to Oregon. So I couldn't be. I had predicted 27-9. So I had predicted that certainly a lower a lower scoring affair and maybe a little bit more success for Iowa. So I'm super pleased with the Buckeyes today and couldn't be more excited about this team.
Yeah, I think when you look at how the game went, the first half was exactly what Iowa wanted. They wanted low scoring, take the air out of the ball, run the ball, pound the rock. The quarterback in the first half made some incredible throws where I was just like, he's about to get smoked. Stood in there, took a shot, delivered a bullet, and that happens. Again, I have a lot of respect for Iowa. And again, I know it's cliche central when you talk about they're well coached and they play hard, but I was in the stadium for the first half and they play really hard. And they were hitting our guys and they're physical up front. And they want to grind you into hamburger. They want to run zone and they want to run you over up front and wear you down. And it worked for about half. But then they came out in the second half, and again they coughed the ball up a bunch of times. You turn it over versus Ohio State, especially in Ohio Stadium, it's going to turn into an avalanche quick. And it just took a minute for JJ to get going. If you want, I should have said this leading up to the game. If you want the easiest bet in the history of mankind, when we play Iowa, our slot receiver dominates because of the structure of their defense. It's been like that for 20 years because they run the same defense. Anthony Gonzalez had the two best games of his career in 05 and 06. Go back and look at the stats. And our slots just eat Iowa alive because they don't match. And you saw on the one little wheel route where they had it was like a box structure. I'll show you the thing on film where the linebacker gets stuck on the slot receiver. And that happened with Gonzo. They had Chad Greenway, who's a first rounder, and the guy that they had guarding Mecca was nowhere near Chad Greenway. But even Chad Greenway, as good as he was in the NFL, he can't stick a first round slot receiver. And then so Emeka had the 3 touchdown day. Again, it was his day to eat. JJ was JJ as always. But again, Iowa, they are severely limited from an athleticism standpoint. So they're not, they have zero pass rush. They play these heavy techniques where the guys are basically lined right on top of the tackles. They never edge guys. So we were good in pass protection. Missed a couple of twists, but other than that, I thought we were solid up front. I thought we wore them down a little bit as the game went on. I thought Jack Sawyer was a mammoth today versus their right tackle. It was a bludgeoning by Jack, and he punched the one ball out, but he was in the backfield consistently. And I'm just telling you, the defense is coming. Ty Leak, major problem. Ty Hamilton, forced to fumble where he, the right side of Iowa's line was not up to their standard. This is, not a vintage Iowa offensive line. They don't have like a Tristan Wirfs or Robert Gallery. Iowa, when they're at their peak, they've got like a first rounder at left tackle and a mid-round guy at guard. I didn't see that today. When they had Brian Bulaga, Riley Reef. They had dudes on their O-line, and I didn't see the dudes today that they normally had, especially on the right side, because Jack Sawyer just was dominating the kid. And the right tackle didn't wear gloves, which is whatever. If you want to be tough and not wear gloves as an offensive lineman, that's great. But it didn't help him versus Jack today. But, Luke Lachey had a nice day. I was kind of rooting for that because I wish, I couldn't imagine. Our offense is dynamic, but if we would have taken Luke, and I'm not trying to go revisionist history, but he was a good player today. But, yeah, I like there's going to be enough. Again, I always say this. I always like when there's a little bit of. There's plenty of stuff that they can get. These kids are going to get beat down on in film tomorrow as they get ready for Oregon. But now is a time to start resting, get off their feet, don't go out tonight, chill, because Oregon's got a +1 day, and again, I think that this is a huge advantage that people won't talk about. But they were done last night. They had a night game. Ohio State had to wait till 3:30 to play, so they have like an extra day of rest heading into this thing. And again, the Oregon Ducks are going to be the best team on our schedule by a country mile, and they're a team that's going to be that'll probably be the biggest game in the history of their stadium. And these guys, I think, are up for the challenge. I think that this isn't going to be a sleepy Iowa team that doesn't. I mean, the thing you got to remember about Iowa, they don't have a single guy on their entire roster that we offered a scholarship to. So we have a severe talent advantage. Severe. Oregon isn't like that. Oregon's got a lot of guys that we wish we could have gotten or we offered, and they went there. So this is going to be a huge week for these guys. But again, I thought that they played well. And again, I give a lot of credit to Iowa because that first half, they were out there smashing. I mean, they play very sound defense. Again, it's cliche city, but I mean, their structure was don't let them beat them deep. But then eventually, when you've got JJ, like it doesn't matter if you have two safeties back, he's still going to run past them. But they play very conservative. They don't blitz a lot. I mean, they blitz a little bit, but they don't blitz like most teams do. And again, I played against them, coached against them. They're the same thing. They've been the same thing for 25 years since Ferentz has been the head coach, and our guys adjusted to it. And at some point, you just let the talent take over. And I thought Chip got better as we went, and I thought that Will Howard got better. Obviously you throw a pick, but who cares? I don't care. He had 4 touchdowns, and if he had the same stat line he had today for every single game this season, he'd win the Heisman Trophy. So again, as much as people want to complain, I liked Will Howard's game today. I thought he got better. And again, when you've got JJ and Emeka, like you don't have to be, the Wizard of Oz back there. I mean, you've got the two probably the two best receivers in the country in the same lineup. We missed. I don't think we missed Carnell too bad. Ennis stepped up, had some nice plays. Like I said, it was workman. Like we averaged 5 yards a carry versus an Iowa team that doesn't let you run the ball. I mean, usually that's their whole thing is run the ball, stop the run. They're always excellent against the run because you always have to remember when you're dealing with teams, whatever is their calling card, which Iowa is running the football and stopping the run, they're going to be really good at it. Because guess what they do in practice? They run the ball and stop the run. They're not a team that, once they're down 2 scores, it's basically curtains because they're not built to come from behind, play shotgun, 4 wide. Like that's like liquid death. That's like putting Army or Navy in a shotgun 5 wide game. That's not their game. They want to run the ball, get ahead, milk the clock, and play great defense. And so once you get Iowa into those passing downs, man, they look like a turtle on its back. They're not the powerful team that they strive to be. Nevada, who are some of your MVPs? Because there's a lot of good names to pick from, and we'll get some film going and get some super chats going.
Well, I mean, Will Howard. I mean, first of all, Will Howard. It's not like he completed his first 10 passes in a row. So I don't know where this thing he had a bad first half or something. He completed his first 10 passes. So I mean, he was unbelievable. 21 of 25. He's now 72% on the year. It's like I said, he was definitely. I mean, he threw some dots, man. Was he perfect? Mm-hmm. No, but he was darn near perfect. He was 85% today. So Will Howard definitely gets the entire offensive line. It gets a game ball from me. I thought Caleb Downs was outstanding. Jack Sawyer, for sure, was really dynamic. Really kind of set a tone out there. And I mean, let me just give a game ball to the coaches though. How good have we been with second half adjustments all year long? And like people can complain about, the defense gave up a few drives against, Marshall, or they missed against Michigan State one time. They got into our red zone. I mean, it's like, man, we are looking for the nits to pick, but we have been really good in terms of our second half adjustments have been unbelievable. We've been, just shutting teams down. We did it again today. It was unfortunate that we gave up the touchdown. I mean, that's where we're at this point is when we're upset about second team defensive touchdowns. But our second half adjustments have been great. So definitely MVP to the coaches on both sides of the ball because offensively and defensively, we just continue to shut teams down. come the second half. That's the mark of a champion. Championship teams get better. Championship coaching staffs out-coach other people, and we're clearly a step ahead. Even if we get a little, we get a little wonky in the first half. That's why the games are 4 quarters. We let them go the whole way, and like I said, I'm very pleased with that. Anytime you can beat Iowa 35-7 when they've had a bye week, and you're looking forward to Oregon next week, man, there was every reason for this game to remain a close game, to be a 17-10, 17-7, 14-10 type of game. And Ohio State blew it open, even playing imperfectly, and that's the mark of a really great team.
Yeah, I mean, to me, they gave up the touchdown with the twos, and it doesn't. I don't care. Again, Kirk Ferentz knows how to run his team, but when we pull our starters and they leave their starters in, and then they score, it's again. I totally understand where he's coming from. Like, he's not pleased with their effort. He's going to leave them out there for a little bit, but it still feels like a shutout, because I feel like if we left our Tyleek and Jack and JT out there, like, they're not going to run it on us, But they got one in on the twos, which is fine. But we smothered these guys. I mean, again, this running back was averaging like 160 yards a game, like, coming into this thing, and he had 80. Their starting quarterback had 98 total yards throwing on 20 attempts, a lot of dink and dunks, because our pressure was so formidable. He couldn't sit back there and wait for routes to develop. He had to dump it off to Luke Lachey in the backs and whatever. And again, like their back's a good player. Like, he's not as good as our backs, but he's a good player. And like I said, I thought our defense. I thought Cody Simon showed up. I thought Sonny showed up. This was a good game for them to show up, because this is one where you need your linebackers. When you're playing Iowa, you play these teams that like to run the ball at Michigan. Those guys show up because their scheme is very prehistoric. So, I mean, if there's ever something, like, when people wonder why we love Chip Kelly, go watch Iowa's scheme and imagine our players running Iowa's scheme versus Chip Kelly's scheme, where you got guys coming free, you got speed, you got misdirection, you got a lot of stuff that looks similar, but there's like little nuances to it. That is why I love Chip Kelly. Like, Iowa is as physical as they are. They're a very physical team. Their scheme is prehistoric. So, like, your guys could just shoot the gun, like Sonny and Cody, just run downhill and pulverize these guys, because they just hand the ball off and run zones. It's like what we did last year. And like with Chip, like, there's always different things for guys to look at that can slow them up and confuse them. And again, I'm so glad that our offense is where it's at now, because this is a special run, man. Again, people can complain. I'm going to enjoy every second of the season, because next year I'm going to be like, man, I remember when we had Quinshawn and Travion and, Will Howard. They're all going to be playing in the NFL on Sundays. Like, man, I remember when I was complaining about having all those guys. And it's like, we're going to have, we'll have really good players. We'll have Julian Sand and James Peoples, but it ain't going to be like this crew. I'm just telling you, because those guys are all going to be first-year starters. This team is cooking, and this is a team that Ryan Day needs to cash this one in, man, because you don't get many of these in your career. All right, Nevada, any thoughts? I'm going to dig into some film.
No, just like you said, it's a special group, man. Enjoy every play, every possession, every game. The season's, we're 5 games into it right now. So, almost 30% of the way through. These seasons go quickly, and teams like this do not come along very often. So, if you're waiting to engage your fandom because you're waiting for the big games, I guess you got your wish, because we got Oregon this week. But it's a special team, and I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Yeah, this is the JJ show. This is the one-hander. Again, this is, I don't know what you'd tell this corner, but I mean, we just wedge block this. I mean, we don't even really get a fake out of the back, because he doesn't want to step in the road for him. But yeah, JJ, throw it up to him. Best player in America. I hope we start promoting him at some point so that people know how good he is. But Nevada, your thoughts on this? Because this is one of those ones that just electrified the crowd. And, I mean, this guy looks like a little toddler at this point. But what are your thoughts? JJ's first TD.
Well, that's what Will Howard is told to do. Will Howard is told, if you have man-to-man outside on JJ, throw the ball up and let him make a play. That was his first interception of the year, was on a play like this, but where he had man-to-man on the outside. They're telling him, just throw the ball up there, because JJ is a super freak, and he can go up and get the ball at any time. And you're starting to see JJ's personality come out. JJ's a quiet kid, doesn't really talk a lot, but man, he's starting to feel himself right now. And what's he got, six TDs in 5 games? Or I mean, his numbers are just ridiculous. But that's an automatic play. Nice throw by Wilt, nice safe play in terms of putting it up there like that. But that's what they're telling him to do. They're telling him to put the ball in harm's way because JJ's just going to go up and outmuscle the guy and go get the ball. And I think that's a great play. I think it's a way to highlight your playmakers, and they're certainly doing that with JJ Smith.
Yeah, I mean, JJ's a different level. I got another deep shot here. I'm going to show the pile up of the protection. Our guys protected great all day. I mean, I know that the O-line, everyone hates our O-line, but our guys protected well. I mean, again, these guys always play these heavy techniques, so there's not a lot of edges here. But this is this little 5-man rush here, and they run the same game over and over again where this guy comes in the end, loops around, and we pick it up pretty clean here. Donnie's ready to go on it this time. They got us earlier in the game. You put a guy who's been excellent, Josh Simmons. He's out on the island. He's one-on-one and literally perfect. Traps his hands. This kid goes to hit him with the bull rush. Josh traps his hands, puts his face right in the dirt. Excellent technique. That's like the Dewan. Dewan loved doing that. And Will, nice, easy, drop it right in the bucket. There you go. Tackled at the 2, then you throw it to him to complete the touchdown. But yeah, I love the symmetry in the offense. What Will Howard's doing, JJ getting active. I mean, the whole thing has to run through JJ. This is the one. Again, God bless these screens, man, because these screens are so fun to watch. Obviously, JJ, he makes a mistake here. He gets the ball punched out. It's a good play by the Iowa kid, though. But these little tunnel screens are great because you have to block 2 people. Literally, he gets out, and you throw it to JJ. These guys just got to hang in there for a millisecond, and then the rest of it is just give it to your athlete in space. So really good. We've got 2 super athletic guys out here, Donnie, Josh Simmons. And this is tough. I've been Donnie before because you're thinking he's going to cut it up in here, and he cuts it this way. You see JJ, and then this is great. I mean, again, this is good by 34. I mean, this isn't an accident. He punches the ball out. It's something JJ's obviously going to get better at. He's going to get drilled, and he's going to have to carry the football around to class and all that. But, I like all this except for my boy Donnie, man. My 74 brother. Oh, Nevada, what is your tip on this?
Just knock the ball out of bounds, Donnie. You're 1 yard away from the out of bounds. Just launch that thing out of bounds. Just it, roll it, whatever you got to do.
Oh, God.
Don't hook it back in.
Don't do this.
Later in the game, when the fumble got forced and Cody didn't try to pick it up and run with it and just fell on it, I'm like, thank you, Cody. That just make the responsible play. Not everything needs to be a hero play, but Donnie, you got to get that ball. That ball's got to get out of bounds 100% of the time. Yeah,
I love Donnie, but that's going to be one he's going to get ribbed on a little bit. And again, it's a good learning lesson. Like that's the thing is, it didn't cost you. And it's something that like every offensive lineman that's going to be in that meeting tomorrow, and Ryan is going to show that in front of the whole team and say, look, if this happens and it's our ball, just bat it out of bounds. Dive, hit it backwards out of bounds. Easy peasy. We take possession. Life is good. Because again, like what can't happen versus a good team is what happened there, where you're the only guy around and you fall down and you miss it and it squirts out and the Iowa guy gets it. And you play a real team, that's going to be tough. Nevada, here's one of your little levels plays you love. Emeka breaks here. He gets the touchdown. This is just basically it's like a naked bootleg where you fake the zone play here. We used to call this elephants on parade. So all the elephants go this way. You fake the handoff this way. And then you've got your different little outlets. You've got the deep here, which is Mecca. You got the medium, and then you've got your outlet here, and then you've even got an outlet here. So I mean, you've got 4 different options. Obviously, Mecca's the 1, he's the 2, he's your 3, and then this is your safety valve. But again, the play design, this is really tough because again, when you've got Mecca, this kid's got to check Mecca. And he doesn't know if he's going to go here. It's basically an option. And Mecca is again, Mecca's kind of, he runs this route like he's blocking, like he's sock blocking. And then he puts his foot in the ground and breaks out. And all of a sudden it's just, it's too much grass, because as soon as Mecca puts his foot in the ground, he's already past the guy. And it's a nice, easy throw, catch, touchdown. But this is so hard to defend, Nevada, because you're pulling the short guy. You got him. You got the deep with JJ. But what are your thoughts on this?
Well, again, I mean, on top of that, you've got a Will Howard run option. So it's like, you're presenting the defense with so many different, conundrums right there. But that's the Chip Kelly offense. Offense should be easy. But that's why Kirk, we've made 21 trips to the red zone and scored 20 touchdowns and a field goal. I mean, that is just crazy production. That's crazy efficiency. And, that's from a team that the last few years has really struggled in the red zone, has really struggled in short yardage. And, yeah, we got stopped one time today. It didn't look particularly good on that play. But like I said, the play design is so good. And when Chip's in his bag and he's getting ready to go and he's got the thing rolling, man, Ohio State is really, really difficult to stop. And like I said, his red zone stuff right now is crazy good. And I know eventually we won't score in the red zone, and that'll be a sad day. But right now, 20 of 21 touchdowns, 21 times we've scored out of 21 attempts. That's insane. All the credit in the world to Chip Kelly, the offensive staff, and this great OSU offense.
Yeah, I agree. I can get right to my boy Jack. Jack has got a great little twist game here for his punch out. This is a great play. Terrible set Jack was really killing this right tackle today. He doesn't wear gloves, which is peculiar. But again, when you've got a three technique, this is a three technique. A three technique is this guy's outside shoulder is where Tyleek is aligned at. So when you have a three technique and you're this right tackle, you got to set straight back. You got a vertical set. So he angle sets without a center coming with him. So he sets out like an idiot. And they run a real simple TE where Tyleek is the first guy, Jack's the second guy. He's one, he's two. And they run this game, and you should pass this thing off easy, but the guys from Iowa they're in outer space right here. So Tyleek basically is giving himself up here, but he really doesn't have to do anything because the tackle set is so poor. And then Jack comes underneath, and again, this is great by Jack because he sees ball and he punches ball, which is excellent. Gets it on the floor, and then all of a sudden, you got a huge turnover at a point in the game where you make a huge play. Again, this is something that's crippling. When you're an offense that is as lethargic as Iowa's is, man, you can't afford to turn it over like that. And again, it's poor by their offensive line. It's great by Jack, opportunistic. Our guys like Lathan, these guys are really good at punching the ball out, and that is something that is drilled and it's taught, but it's not always applied like in full time. Like it's easy to punch the ball out in some drill that you're doing at a Tuesday practice, but when it's like a big time, moment. I don't know, man. It's something else. But I really think that it's the D line I thought played really well. I thought Tyleek was on fire today. Ty Hamilton had a sack fumble. Just absolute insanity. But I love the momentum of this defense. I thought your boy Jim Knowles, aka Bad Santa, did a great job today. Again, stifling the run because this is a different type of challenge than you see in practice because these guys run two tight ends and they run zone and they're like the old Wisconsin. Wisconsin's trying to be a little bit more open, a little bit more spread, but you don't see offenses like Iowa's as often as you used to. Like this is like the old trestle ball offense. You see a lot more spread, wide out. So it takes some difficulty when you got to switch out, a nickel and you got to play more three linebacker looks where you put Cody Simon at the will, which is the outside linebacker. You put Arvell Reese at the Mike, which is the middle linebacker, and you put Sonny South out at the Sam. So it was fun to watch. Like I thought those guys were excited to play in a physical game, and I thought our defensive line really carried the fight to Iowa's O line. Because again, that's what it was going to take. When you're playing a game like this, man, this is you better eat your Wheaties and get ready to fight some combination blocks and some double teams. And that's why it was great Tyleek was back, because Tyleek was a force of nature today. Nevada, your thoughts on the defense?
Well, yeah. Look, it was an open question about how we're going to do against a team that could just line it up and run it as well as Iowa could do. And, I think people had some concerns about that. Missing Tyleek the last two. Tyleek is a potential first-team All-American should we ever decide to promote some guys, which we don't. We have the worst sports information director in Jerry Megan in the history of maybe college football, and so we don't promote our guys. But Tyleek being back in there, it's night and day for the defense. And no, we just stifled them. We just shut them down, and it took everything away from those guys. I know he had that late touchdown run, and that was great. Probably salvaged his day, 86 yards or whatever he had on the day. But it was pretty hollow considering the way that the game played out. But no, I clearly we can stop the pass, we can stop the run. I think opportunistic as the game went along, I think our pressure got better. And no, we're not perfect. We're not the 85 Bears. We can't just like stop everybody. Nobody's ever going to make a first down. But man, we're a very, very good, very, very sound defense, and a defense that seems to be getting better with each week. And huge challenge next week at Oregon. Our biggest challenge of the year. But we should be ready. With no excuses. If we don't do well, there's no excuses for not doing well because we're healthy. We're a veteran team. We've seen just about everything that you can see from opposing offenses. And if a team wants to line it up and run it, we can stop them. If a team wants to throw it, we can stop them. So I like our chances.
Yeah, and I like the multiplicity of our offense because we could run the ball down people's throats. We can throw it all over the yard. There's been times where it's been slanted one side or the other, but we're truly a balanced offense, and we've got as deep of a running back stable as we're ever going to have, maybe ever. So I'm enjoying Quinshawn. I'm enjoying Trey. I don't have words for people that can't enjoy like the Will Howard, Quinshawn, Travion backfield. I don't even know what to say to you guys because it's so fun to watch. I think Will Howard does a great job running the show. We're huddling more often, which is something that's interesting. I think that that's something going on the road to Oregon with the noise. I think that they're probably trying to manage that a little bit, and so we're huddling a lot more than we have in the last 15 years. We're literally up and getting the play in the huddle, and like again, I don't think it's an accident that we're going to Alston. It's going to be crazy loud, and they want to use the helmet communication, and no sign stealing, no nothing. But I'm excited, man. I love this team. I'm going to show you a little bit more Chip Kelly play design because again, I can't get enough of it. This is Mecca. Again, they get him on the linebacker. This poor linebacker has to cover the second best receiver in the country. And again, this is a nice little combination, little pick route. He's here. Mecca's got the wheel. Great pro by the guys. Again, this is pretty simple protection here. You've got basically a 6-man pro. No pressure whatsoever. This is as good of pass protection as you get. And again, Iowa's guys have never been great pass rushers because they're taught to bull right down the middle. So they don't take edges. They run some games, but they just bull rush. That's all they do. That's all they've ever done. And you drop it in the bucket to Mecca versus a linebacker. Again, this is almost cruel. You put your linebacker and he's got to pass this off, and then he ends up on a Mecca. That's terrifying. But again, that's what Chip wanted, and that's the matchup that we've gotten that versus Iowa for as long as I can remember because that's what they do. They don't always go nickel. They did more nickel today than they have, but that in that look, they're in 3 linebackers. So if you're in your in your normal there we went to here. Let me just draw this real quick. It'll be easier. So we caught them in a 3 linebacker look, which is we used to do this all the time in 05, 06. You got to remember they've got the same DC that from when I played, so they've never changed anything. I used to break this film down when I coached in 2010, and it's the easiest breakdown in the history of the world because they run the same defense and the same coverage 95% of their plays. So there's your Will, your Mike. Here's your Sam. Here's your D line. Your 2 safeties. Corner. So again, when you run this box formation and you've got your tight end and your tight end, again, when you bring 2 tight ends in the game, what's Iowa going to do? They're going to 3 linebackers, just like we did. And so all of a sudden, you got your poor linebacker, based on this route combination, you got G, you got Will, and all of a sudden they know that this linebacker's going to have to pass this off and run with a Mecca now. So again, that is not the matchup that you want in life, folks. So we do, but then again, I don't know how much better of a throw you get, but this is a perfect drop in the bucket by Will Howard versus that linebacker, and Emeka makes a great play. But again, that's just great scheme. And again, it's Iowa is really good because they're very basic, they're very vanilla. You know what you're going to get with Iowa. They're really good at what they do, but they're just out athleted when they play teams like us. So again, you want to put your linebacker on Emeka, then have at it, I guess. We took advantage of that matchup. Nevada, any thoughts?
Well, it's funny because I mean the guy did a good job covering Emeka. It was just a perfect throw. I mean,
Yeah,
he's right
exactly.
there. It's not like Emeka was running free or something like that. Like I mean, just Howard dotted him, put it right over the guy's shoulder, and put it right in Emeka's arm. So, it just shows how confident Will is right now. He's not. He doesn't. He's got a short memory. He'll make a bad throw. Not as many as people think. He was 21 or 25, but he'll make the occasional bad throw. Everybody will be up in arms, and then he'll throw 9 dots in a row, but everybody will want to just talk about the one interception. It is a crazy phenomenon watching the people. I was just monitoring the game through just to kind of see how things are, and I have never seen anything like it. It's like I don't know what it is. I don't know. Somehow it's like they can't accept how good he is because, I mean, his numbers right now are like historically good. And forget the rushing stuff. He's rushed for 4 rushing TDs in 5 games. We hadn't rushed for a rushing TD from our QB1 in 3 years. And he's had 4 in 5 games. Do I think that makes a difference? Yeah, I think that makes all the difference. And no, he was good. But that play design, like I said, I mean, great play design. They got Emeka on the guy he wanted, but it's not like Emeka blew by him, but Will just dotted him. And 3 touchdowns for Emeka. That's great. That'll be good for the wide receiver room. Keep everybody happy because Emeka's a true number 1, and he certainly got fed like it today.
Yeah, it's interesting because when Will Howard came in, I was like, he can get better. He can absolutely get better. Vandy just scored another touchdown. Oh my God, this might be the biggest upset in the history of football. They scored another touchdown. It's 39-28 with 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Yikes. Good for the Bucs though. So his Nevada, do you know what his quarterback rating is as of this so far this year after this game?
199?
173.
173. I knew he was 199 today. 173. I mean,
that's crazy. He's taken he's taken 1 sack. He's got 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's thrown for 1,000 yards. Through 5 games.
That was that was no. That was before today. He threw 4 more today. He's got 12 touchdowns against 3.
Yeah,
that's not updated. That's not updated.
So his rating will actually go up. That's hilarious.
Yeah, no, I know it. No, like I said, he is historically good, and it's like people are missing it. Like we're 30% of the way through the season, and I think it's somehow because somebody said that he was being run out of Kansas State and he wasn't good enough to play in the Big 12 or something, that people can't accept what they're seeing. But I mean, he's really good. And like I said, not just looking at him strictly as a passing quarterback. His running and his ability to run, his willingness to run, sets up everything else on our offense from a running perspective because they have to respect it because he'll pick it up. No, he's not, JT Barrett or he's not Justin Fields, but he's capable. I mean, he's Josh Allen. Other than the turf monster kind of catching, he had a couple of runs where he looked kind of unathletic, kind of rolling around out there like he was on roller skates. But he's a good runner with the ball, and I love the fact he's a big horse and can get out there rolling. Picked up that one on the 12. We needed 12 yards, and he ran for 12 on the one. So Will's been terrific. Will's far exceeded my expectations for him, and I hope the fan base gets with it because this guy should be in New York for the Heisman ceremony. I'm telling you, he's that good, and he's the leader on the best offense in college football, and he definitely should be getting that recognition.
Yeah, wow, yeah. I mean that's crazy. I mean his numbers are, like you said, they're historic. I mean through 5 games. I mean he's running the show, and for a guy to come pick up the offense and run the show on a veteran team and be the leader. I mean he's a clear leader of the team. You gotta do is watch the game. You watch it from when I was sitting in the stadium for the first half. Like he runs the whole show. Chip Kelly trusts him. Ryan Day trusts him. I mean Ryan Day basically staked his career on this kid. That's what I always say when people are like, what do you think about Will Howard? I'm like, well, I don't know. Ryan Day's got the most talented team in school history, and he could have stayed chalk and kept Kyle McCord around, give him the same NIL deal, and instead he blew the whole thing up to go get Will Howard, and it turned out to be maybe the best move of his career because I think Will Howard is going to do incredible things at Oregon. I think they're going to run him when they really need it against Oregon, because I think that's going to be critical. It's loud. I don't know what the weather's going to be like, but I'm telling you what, watch football for the rest of the weekend, tonight, tomorrow, and when that quarterback runs and breaks contain and picks up a first down or picks up 8 yards or runs for 50, like, I mean, just like, man, Kirk's right. The quarterback run is severely overpowered in college football. Because I'm telling you, it is it's something else at this point. How hard it is to stop it. And again, that's like our Jim Knowles, like when he talks to Chip Kelly, what's the hardest thing that you go against? Quarterback run, like a really athletic quarterback that can take off. Now, mind you, the caveat is he has to be able to throw too. I'm not talking Alex Orji, who's might as well not even have arms when he plays football. I'm talking about guys that are true dual threats like Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, even Pat Mahomes. Like, I mean, you watch him scramble. I mean, he picks up countless huge first downs running the ball, and he's not like he's not some gazelle by any stretch, but Will is a guy that he can scoot when he gets out in the open edge. Now, I wish he would slide sometimes. Like, again, I'm going to be old man River here and I'm going to complain, but like, I wish he would slide. And I wish, for the love of God, someone would tell Trey Henderson to put his mouthpiece in, because, when you wear your mouthpiece, you're risking a severe concussion when you get tackled the way these guys were hitting him today. I'm like, dude, like, wear your mouth. When you're carrying the ball, they're all coming to hit you, wear your mouthpiece. I don't care if you do it in pass protection or running routes, but I'm just trying to protect my dude so that his soft shell head doesn't get a concussion. All right, Nevada, any thoughts? And we'll get into some super chats.
Look, this is a great game for Ohio State. We say it every week: win, improve, stay healthy, move on, and we accomplished all of those goals. Beat a good team. I mean, Iowa's a good team, not a great team, not a national champ, but a good, solid team. And we made a little statement about how tough we are, about how we can stop the run, and how versatile we are on both sides of the ball. So, no, I'm super pleased.
Totally agree. Gabe Ganzik, so there's any concerns about the slow starts, Nevada OH?
I don't
know, Nevada. Do you have any concerns about the slow starts to start the games?
Will Howard started 10 for 10, and we took the ball and drove 11 plays, 85 yards, and scored a touchdown. So we certainly weren't slow on the offensive side. Defensively, we gave up a couple of third downs and kept them on the field a little bit longer. But no, Iowa was just, was doing a good job of slowing the game. We literally had one offensive possession in the first quarter. And if you have one offensive possession in the first quarter, you get stopped on downs, and then you have a fumble, man, you're just not going to score many points. So I'm not really worried about I think the good. I'd be much more worried if weren't in a position to make second half adjustments. Second half adjustments is where the coaches earn their money, where the guys go out there. They're clearly responding to what they're saying at halftime. So no, I'm not worried about the. I think the slow start is really kind of more of a feeling out period, and once our it's kind of like in boxing or MMA, where guys kind of circle around out there and they're kind of feeling each other out. There's going, and then once they kind of start sizing it up, they start going. And I think that's what you're kind of seeing with Ohio State.
Yeah, I was sitting in the stadium in the first quarter. I was like, that might be the fastest first quarter I've ever seen. I mean, it flew by. It was like 30 minutes real time, 35 minutes. It just, because again, they run the ball, they sit on the ball, they take the air out of the ball. So you don't have the high flying stuff that you would normally see, from Ohio State. But they marched on, they scored, but when a team's holding the ball and running it and slow and running all 40 seconds off the clock between every play, it feels like it's a slow start. But we just, like you said, we didn't have the ball. So I mean, the defense, I thought, the defense was fine, and we gave up 240 yards. And again, we didn't play Akron, we didn't play Marshall, we didn't play Western Michigan, like we played Iowa. Iowa's a good team. I mean, they lost to Iowa State, but they're a tough. I mean, they're a tough out. Again, I've seen Iowa, at their higher levels, like when they had like a little bit more star power, and they're good. And again, they play hard and they know what they are. And again, that's a good physical team to get you ready to go play Oregon. Nevada, Larry Daniels 1. Thank you for being ultra member. Thank you for the 5. How well do the coordinators review their calls after the games? In the heat of the game, how do you talk to Will Howard after an interception? Nevada OH. Well, the coordinators, they'll probably review their stuff a little bit tonight. They'll definitely do it tomorrow when they rewatch it with the staff. And the whole staff will sit down and grade it A lot of the guys will grade it tonight, but you try to get some time with your family tonight. You can always work tomorrow and grade the film, but might start a little Oregon stuff tonight. But they always kind of go over in their head what they could have done. If something gets stopped, or was there some tendency that we gave away that helped them call a call that met us in the hold or whatever. So they review that stuff after every game. They self-scout. They want to change their tendencies consistently. This week they're going to break all their tendencies because they're not going to do any. They're not going to give Oregon any advantages. So it'll be a whole new ball of wax when we play the Oregon Ducks on Saturday. In the heat of the game, how do you talk to Will Howard after an interception? Well, that's the beauty of Chip being upstairs is he has Ryan Day, who has been the quarterback coach since 2018. Like he's got Ryan down on the field. So, Ryan can go talk to Chip and Ryan can talk to Chip on the headset, and then he can go talk to Will and relay everything. And plus, Will Howard's on the headset too. So Will's talking to Chip too. So, I mean, those quarterbacks, when they have the headphones on, they're not listening to iTunes. They're sitting there listening to the coordinator and getting feedback. And plus, you've got, again, the iPads are like for the grace of God at this point because you can literally look exactly at what you saw or what you thought you saw or what you didn't see and rewatch it, go over it with the receiver. Again, there's so many advantages at this point now to that, but I think that's how they did. But they go over their calls every single game because again, they're coordinators like Jim Knowles and Chip Kelly. They're very critical of themselves. I've called the game better? It's like everything. There's always ways to get better, even at things that you did well. There's always going to be a couple calls that I'm sure Chip or Jim Knowles would want back, maybe for a long gain or a touchdown, and they always fix that on Saturdays. Nevada, Larry Daniels, 1. Thanks for the 5. Thanks for an all-star as well. How well do the coordinators review their calls after the games? Nevada, in the heat of the game, how do you talk to Will Howard after an interception? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I mean, look, they go back and review everything, and these guys are already replaying this stuff in their mind. They know what they did well, they know what they didn't do, quite as well. And with Will, they're just the last thing you want is your quarterback. They don't want him thinking too much. They want him to just go out there, play instinctively, be fearless. And I love the way that Will started the game. I love the way that Will finished the game. Was decisive with the ball. Kept throwing dots. No, I mean, like I said, I think they're doing a heck of a job of coaching him up, and he's clearly the commander of the offense. He's the guy that's the absolute. You can tell he's the heart and soul on that side of the ball. Big veteran guy, and no, I think they're doing a heck of a job. Getting him ready, putting him in positions to succeed, and that's why the offense is humming so well.
I agree. Shad Rollins, thank you for the 20. Thanks for being a wrench and being an ultra member. If you guys are around Columbus after this, head Defenders Westerville. Andy Joe is going to perform all night. It's going to be a good time. A lot of Scoop people are heading over there. So go check out Thomas Taylor, Andy Joe, Sarah. They're all going to be in the building watching Andy Joe sing. Poohbeard 12, thank you for the 5. Thanks for being an ultra member as well. Feeling good about Oregon, as am I. If we don't beat ourselves, turnovers, penalties, etc., we aren't losing. I will live with Will Howard INTs all day. If he is 21 to 25 with 4 TDs, yeah, I mean, he had 1 pick. So, those guys are on scholarship too.
Wait a second. I honestly, and I'm being dead serious. He's thrown 3 interceptions this year. Why do people talk about him like he's thrown like 75 interceptions? Well, and it's a serious question. What is that? We've played 5 games, and he's thrown 3 picks. But the way people talk about, living with the interceptions, and you'd think that he's 10 touchdown passes and 16 interceptions or something like that. I mean, what am I missing? Because there's got to be something that I'm missing to be getting this kind of reaction for a guy that's got the statistics like he did. What is it, Kirk? Because I'm not understanding it.
I don't know. He's not C.J. Stroud or something.
He's better than C.J. Stroud. His numbers are better than C.J. Stroud. His numbers are better.
I don't know what standard he's being judged against. I honestly God don't. I don't know if it's Dwayne Haskins or if it's C.J. Stroud or it's the myth of C.J. Stroud being better. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't, because again, would C.J. be running this offense better with the way that Will can run and the way that he does a lot of these RPO things. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But I mean, I don't know. I honestly think
so I can just tell you statistically, and again, it's only 5 games, but CJ's never completed passes at a higher percentage, never had a better touchdown to interception ratio, and contributed 0 on the ground. So, like, I'm not sure how people are remembering his time here or something like that, but Will Howard is objectively better than that. But like I said, just the way people talk about him, it's like, it's almost like, well, I can live with all these interceptions and all these turnovers, and I'm like, dude, he's thrown 3 interceptions in 5 games. Like, that's not a lot, not against 12 touchdown passes.
Do you think it has something to do with like his like draft rating or something? Because I don't understand it either.
I don't know.
Is it because he's not at the top of Mel Kiper's draft board or something? Like I said, I don't know. Like I said, I think he's doing great. I love watching him. I know we're definitely gonna miss him next year. So I know everyone that hates this guy. I'm like, well, wait. I mean, again, I'm not saying Julian Sain won't be great, but Julian Sain's gonna be a first-year starter. Like Will Howard's won a Big 12 championship before he ever like considered coming to Ohio State. At Kansas State, he didn't do it at Texas or Oklahoma. He did it at K-State. Who's got K-State is like the Iowa of the Big 12. I mean, they don't get brand name 5-star guys. Like there isn't a single player on Kansas State's roster that gets an offer from the University of Texas or Oklahoma. None of them. And that's like Iowa. But
Kirk, he was 21 of 25 today for 4 touchdown passes and rushed for another touchdown. And all people want to talk about is the INT. That's weird, Kirk. That is definitely weird. And I truly don't understand it. And I'm telling you, Washington's gonna violate Michigan today. I'm calling it right now. The first play of the game, they hit for like a 50-yard pass. Michigan's so bad. Michigan is so bad.
And that is a long, terrible trip too. Let me tell you. And they're playing it at night too. That's going to be awful. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. I don't know. Like I think part of it is like Will Howard doesn't have like NFL draft hype, so people think that CJ Stroud was 2nd overall, so he's not as good as CJ Stroud for whatever reason. Now again, CJ Stroud, great kid, very good quarterback, but he never beat Michigan. So it's like again, as much as people want to put Bill's statue of him, like he never won the big one, so never won really anything in his career. And again, I'm not here to beat CJ Stroud up because I don't really care. It's irrelevant. He's in the league. God bless him. He'll make $1 billion in the NFL. But, like Will Howard right now is running this offense about as good as I've seen. So, again, someone's going to say Kirk's banging on CJ and he went 2nd overall in the draft. I don't care. Like Will Howard is going to take this team to higher levels than CJ ever did, especially like when you need it the most. All right. But, yeah, I feel great about Oregon. As long as, we have to run the ball, we have to stop the run, and we can't turn the ball over. Again, I said it earlier. If you don't listen to some of the smartest coaches of all time, guys like Belichick and those guys, they'll say that there are more football games that are lost than won. Now, what that means is, again, we are just better than Iowa. But if Iowa in some universe had equal talent to us, then when you turn the ball over the way they did today, it capsizes your entire operation. Like you have no chance. You can't turn it over. Can't do kind of the whole 9 yards. So again, we have to take care of the football against Oregon. Have to. Can't fumble it. And just and turn them over. Force fumbles. We've been forcing fumbles at a crazy rate. I mean, I know that was one of the things that Jim Knowles and the defense, they wanted to force more turnovers, and our guys are punching the ball out. It's been drilled in them all summer. And they're executing it. So, when again, I'm sure you guys all watched the Oregon-Michigan State game. They didn't exactly like blow my skirt up when I was watching that. I was like, oh my God, these guys are exceptionally beatable. They've seen nothing like our defensive front. They've never seen anything like our defensive line. I promise you. And Michigan State hung with them for a little bit, but Michigan State, again, if I was their athletic director, I would call the Big Ten and say, you guys made us play Ohio State in a night game on Saturday, and then we had to fly on a short week to Oregon, a 7-hour flight, and play on a Friday. Like, in what universe is that fair? You got to play the 2 best teams in the league in 6 days. Again, just me. Whatever. D. Sunny, thank you for the 5. Appreciate you, brother. Hope you're doing good. Today, I saw the players walking in, and the way Travion Henderson was so happy and excited to hug fans and slap hands made him one of my favorites. Yeah, Trey was a bull today, man. He was killing it. I mean, he trucked the guy. And again, I know that I'm old man River and I'm the old head, but I wish he'd put his damn mouthpiece in when he's running the ball because again, that's how guys get concussed. And that's why you wear a mouthpiece so you don't get a severe concussion. Because again, when he ran that dude over and he didn't have his mouthpiece, and I'm like, dude, come on, like we need you. We don't need you getting dinged because again, the new style thing for these kids is that they all have the dangling mouthpieces and none of them wear them. And I'm like, guys, like, come on. Like, especially if you're going to carry the ball and you're going to get hit by 2 or 3 guys, like, that could smoke you. Like, you don't want to be laying there, with your tongue hanging out and your eyes rolled back in your head, and then the trainers have to come give you the smelling salts to wake you up. But I love Trey. Again, he's a physical runner. In the Hall of Fame of dumb takes, like people calling Trey soft and blind and no vision. Again, I should frame these things because people are they're so impossibly stupid when they talk about some of these players because I don't even think they have eyes. I think that some of these people are just blind and somehow they can type into a message board and talk about Trey Henderson has no vision, he's soft, he's bad kid, like whatever. And I'm just like, dude, this kid, we're a kid who's a captain, playing great, recruited Quinshon Judkins to give us the best duo in the history of the program. So yeah, I don't know why people like Trey Henderson, but I've just figured that some people just aren't very smart. So we're here to educate you guys because, again, Trey is another guy that we will miss severely next year when he is gone. Nevada descending in next for the 5 said, today I saw players walking into the stadium and the way Trey Henderson was so happy and excited to hug fans and slap hands made him one of my favorites. What are your thoughts on Trey Henderson?
Yeah, I mean, just a great guy. He's the kind of guy that you'd want to have your daughter date. I mean, he's just a great kid. And boy, he showed some vision today. I was just watching him and thinking he's going to be on an NFL team next year, and he's going to make somebody really, really happy because he can do it all. He can run, he can catch, he's tough as heck. He can pass protect. So no, he's terrific player, and I thought he had a great game today.
Vandy's really about to beat Alabama. This is crazy. This is the biggest upset I've ever seen. As I was saying, Revia Tube, thank you for the 5. How many first rounders do we have on defense and offense based on play so far? Well, Nevada, do you want to take the first crack at this, or do you want me to kind of add them up and you can agree or disagree?
You can take first. I mean, I've got my own.
Okay, I'll go first crack. So I'll go. I think Quinshon could go first round. Trey, I think will go second round. I think Josh Simmons can go first round. Emeka will go first round. So there's 3 or 4. I mean, I can see Trey and Quinshon both going first round if they keep it up. It's just running backs are so devalued, but those guys are a lot closer to Jahmyr Gibbs than they are, the guys that go second, third round. The rest of again, I could be crazy. I might get castrated for saying this, but I think Will Howard could go first round. If JJ McCarthy can go first round and go like top 15, come on, guys. What are we talking? I've seen Paxton Lynch and Trey Lance, and I've seen all kinds of guys go first round that I don't think are as good as what Will Howard's doing right now. And again, Will Howard's got all the intangibles. He's getting coached hard now. He's got good mobility, which I love mobility. He's big. Again, Josh Allen. Go look up Josh Allen's stats when he was at Wyoming. He wasn't exactly 50 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. I mean, he was all over the lot. I think he was almost like 50-50 in terms of picks and touchdowns. Then also defensively, I think Tyleek, really good shot at going first round. Jack, either first or early second. Denzel Burke, maybe first. That might be it. Because, obviously, Caleb Downs got another year left, and JJ's got another year left. So, I don't know if you want first rounders for this year, or, if it's in perpetuity, then you throw JJ and Caleb Downs in there, obviously. But, yeah, if you're talking this year's upcoming draft, yeah, I'd say there. And, I think guys like JT and Jack, if they test well, could be late first round. Again, that's just my opinion. Nevada, your thoughts?
No, I guess where do you, like a player like Denzel Burke? Where do you put a Denzel Burke? Are we just talking about the offense? Or are we talking about?
No, I'm talking about everybody. Denzel, I think, is a first rounder. Maybe, if he runs well and tests well, then he could easily be a first rounder.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. I mean, I think, I mean, look, it's it's the NFL draft is going to be really, really bittersweet because it's going to be an Ohio
Oh,
State fest, and we're going to be there, and I'm going to be talking about Ohio State, Ohio State, Ohio State, and we're going to all be all proud and have our little jerseys on and jump up and down and yell. But boy, we're losing a lot of talent for next year, and we are losing a lot of talent. But you know something, I'm not even going to think about that. I'm going to focus on Oregon and enjoying every minute of this game because. This is an insanely, I mean, of the 85, kids on the roster or scholarship players. I mean, you're talking about 60, potential NFL players. I mean, it's an incredibly deep team, and the starting 22 they're all going to be very familiar names in the NFL over the next few years.
yeah. Vandy in victory formation is something I never thought I'd see in my life versus Alabama, but they are here, and this is wow. Vanderbilt just beat Alabama. That is, I mean, Nevada, where does that rank in your all-time upsets? I mean, obviously App State, Michigan was a big one, but I mean, Vandy's been hapless like forever, and they just beat number one Alabama. Like that is, holy cow. Where does that rank for you?
Hashtag Jesse Mirko knew. He knew he was going there for
Jesse Mirko did know, didn't he?
He did know.
He said he wanted to go beat Bama, and there he is. He's punting his little heart out.
I play a little punting game. So I mean, yeah, that's a crazy one. But look, that's why I tell people every week. I'm like, guys, playing on the road is hard. Alabama, big game last week against Georgia, got it. They play on the road at Vanderbilt, and that's why people, we win at Michigan State. We only won 38-7. Oh, we stink. Oh, fire everybody. Oh, and I'm like, guys, winning on the road in the league is hard. Don't ever take it for granted. You look at Alabama now. Does it mean the same thing that it used to when when we had these shorter 4-team playoff, 2-team playoff, 1-team playoff? No, this would have been an elimination game for Alabama in previous years, and now it's just kind of a neat story. And this is what I was concerned about devaluing the regular season, because this isn't going to really derail anything for Alabama. So does it make them sad? Yeah. Is it kind of a cute little story? Yeah. But man, in years gone by, this would have had a seismic impact. It had been over, and that's not where you're at now.
I mean, Vandy lost to Georgia State 2 weeks ago. 36 to 32. Yeah, so I mean, crazy. Like the vaunted Georgia State, whatever Georgia State is, not the Bulldogs, the Bull Puppies or something, the Periwinkles. I don't know what they are, but wow. I mean, this will be a fun trip back to Tuscaloosa for these guys, man. Number 13 on Alabama is going absolutely crazy, man. They're about to be fighting in the locker room and killing each other. This is going to be nuts. Larry Daniels, thank you for the 5. Appreciate you, my friend. On Will Howard's interception, I was just curious how you keep the quarterback from overthinking in case of a short throw. I'm not attacking Howard. I love him. Yeah, I didn't take it as that. I think that you're just trying to figure out how do you figure out everything. I mean, the Vanderbilt Stadium is literally completely Alabama fans. That is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. What a good day for those guys. But yeah, I think, like I said, I love Will Howard. Again, when we were the ones that broke Will Howard was coming here, literally. And I was so excited. I watched his film. The game I watched him against Missouri, the team that gave us problems, and we didn't do too hot against Mizzou. And like I watched him against them, and I was like, God, I mean, he had way less talent and really carried the team on his back. It wasn't perfect, but he took Kansas State and played at Missouri and fought them pretty hard. I mean, it was a good team, and Missouri's defense last year I thought was outstanding. So, yeah. I don't know. Nevada, your thoughts. Larry Daniels, 1. Again, thanks for being ultra member. Thanks for the 5. On Will Howard's INT, I was just curious how you kept the QB from overthinking in the case of a short throw, about attacking him. I love him. Anything to add, Nevada?
Yeah, no, I didn't even take it that way, Larry. I was talking about the totality, because I look at stuff on the internet. I look at stuff on our board.
We've got our message board. Yeah, for people that don't know, we have a message board. So people fly off the handle, and it's hilarious sometimes.
Well, but even like after the game, we have people on there talking about how Howard's killing us and he's holding the offense back, and he's terrible. And I'm just thinking, are you guys drunk? I don't know. And it is weird stuff. But no, Larry, I didn't take it. I'm talking about the totality of the internet world. Um, not Larry. You're very sane and sane and sober, Larry. That's a good way to be.
That makes two of us, Larry. Just kidding. But yeah, like I said, I do think that there is a portion, and again, Jim Trussell, who's my hero, he had that one great line where he talked about how, there are some people that are just, they're so like impossibly miserable that like that's just they're always waiting for the told you so moment where, oh, I told you we weren't good, I told you we should have been upset, I told you that Oregon was better, I told you I should have worried about Michigan, like, and I'm like, I mean, you can live like that, but I'm gonna enjoy every second that this team's together, because again, we got 4 home games left, I think. I mean the sand on this team, the sand is going to come out of the hourglass real quick, folks. So I mean, everyone can sit around and cry the blues, but you're not, after this year, you're not going to see Quinshawn and Trey in an Ohio State uniform ever again. So I'm going to enjoy it again. I love the selflessness. I love the joy. I love the passion. I love the fight. I love all of it. I love watching Jack Sawyer bull rush this right tackle. Like, again, I like seeing Sonny Sal's take a step today. I thought he was showing up all over the field. I mean, hell, Lorenzo Sal's Jr. almost got a sack today, and he was about a foot away from killing the quarterback on a nickel blitz. So, again, I like seeing some of these guys get more playing time, get more burn. And I like that this team is, they're improving. Again, Iowa was a big step up from Michigan State, in my opinion. And again, I love watching this team play football, because I think that there's a lot of meat on the bone. Again, this was, to me, I thought this was a great win because, it started off slow. So again, these kids can get the full key of the dragon tomorrow during the film session. I've sat in those sessions; they suck. And then they can cool it off a little bit towards the end where they really start humming. And again, the O-line, I mean, they've given up I think 1 or 2 sacks the entire season, and the pocket was clean for the most part today, and we're able to operate the offense. And you got to remember, after the first week, everybody wanted Justin Fry fired, and I was like, well, let's give it some time. I think that they settled on Tigra as a starting right guard because Austin Sauerveld, I don't think, rotated at all today until they finally put the 2s in at the end. But Josh Simmons playing a very high level. Donnie Jackson, he wasn't good on that 4th down where he got pushed back. I mean, he's got to get his hands going. I've been saying that for 3 years now. But he's getting his legs under him. He looks good in space. I love on the road. I love screens and I love quick game. I love it. I want nice, easy throws to get the quarterback comfortable, get the receivers get their hands on the football early. If I'm playing against Oregon, man, I'm throwing quick screens and slants and stuff to get our guys going quick early, get a little bit of momentum, get Will's confidence moving on the road in what will be the loudest environment in Allison Stadium history, because the big bad Bucks are coming to town. So, like I said, I love the direction of the program. I love the direction of this offense. I think the defense has been suffocating. Again, I hate that they lost the shutout when Iowa left the starters in and we had the 2s in, but that's just life sometimes. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. But that we played shutout football with the starters today, which again, that's noteworthy because again, against Oregon, these guys aren't going to get pulled out. They're going to be playing the whole 60 minutes, and I think they're going to have something to prove, and I think they're going to go in there and stomp the Ducks because again, I think that's the direction of this team, and there's nothing that galvanizes the team like going on the road. They'll probably go out. I would imagine they'll fly out Thursday and have a walkthrough Friday, and then get ready to play on Saturday and get hydrated, get that flight out of the way. But yeah, this will be a big step. Nevada, we got another super chat. I was going to wrap it, but we got Magnus Prime. Thank you for the 5. Thank you for being an ultra member as well. Nevada, the O-line is playing violently and hitting the defense. How are you two feeling about that based on your predictions? Run game at best in the country. Nevada OH.
I'll
let you run with this one.
I said before the year that I'd go on record as saying that the offensive line was going to get better, and it was going to be like magic. It's going to be like the same guys, but they're going to magically be better in pass protection, be better, in run game, because it was scheme. I've always insisted that our scheme really hampered us, and I what I'd say is I think they're even surpassing my expectation. I think Jimmy Simmons is playing at an absolutely elite level right now. He is dominating out there, and I sincerely mean that. I want to give Justin Fry all the credit in the world for getting this guy out of the portal, because nobody in the world was talking about, hey, let's get the left tackle from San Diego State. And the guy with 15 procedure penalties or whatever, he was like number one in the country in penalties his freshman year or whatever it was. And they've turned that guy into a legitimate All-American candidate. And the guy, he's the anchor on the line. He's again, he's been outstanding. And the entire offense line, it's we were talking about it being a question mark before the year, and I said, I don't think it'll be a question mark. I think it'll be a team strength. And through 5 games, I think it's absolutely been a team strength. Our offensive line's doing work.
Yeah, and again, we said with the scheme, with a running quarterback, which we have now, a quarterback that'll actually pull the ball and run, magically the lanes will be bigger, the combination blocks will be better. With the misdirection and the stuff that Chip likes to do, it makes the linebackers and safeties have to react. And my favorite part of the whole equation that I've been screaming about for 2 years, our wide receivers block now. Why? Because Chip Kelly showed up, and he made Brian Hartline make these guys block. Because before, again, they don't want to get their nails dirty. They don't want to. They'd have to go out there and hit them with their Louis Vuitton purses. And now magically, these guys are all like banging on these safeties and these corners, and so magically we have all these explosive gains in the running game now that we didn't have last year because we wouldn't block a safety. Like, we were just allergic to it. So again, thank God for Chip Kelly, because he's holding these guys accountable and making them block. Again, if you don't want to block, that's fine, but you're going to stand next to the guys signaling, and you can watch the game if you don't want to block. So again, that stuff that you put on film when you're a coach is either taught or it's allowed. And guess what? It's been allowed for the last 3 years. All of a sudden, Chip showed up. He's like, nope, I want to run the ball, and I want to have explosive gains, and I want our guys to get into the secondary. And, again, like, you don't have to block corners all the time, but you got to block the safeties. I mean, I want the corners to tackle. Make those corners tackle, because there isn't a corner on this earth that's a good tackler. They all, unless you're Antoine Winfield, 95% of these guys want nothing to do with putting their nose against Quinshon Judkins, because Quinshon Judkins will stiff arm you, and your head will land somewhere around the moon, because that's how strong he is. And those kids will watch that tape of Quinshon stiff arm today, and they'll say, yeah, I'm going to make a business decision and just not go after that guy's stiff arm. But I think that we have the best running game in the country. There might be some Army team or Navy team that all they do is run triple option that might be out rushing us. But, for what we did against Iowa, we averaged 5 yards a carry versus Iowa, which you average 5 yards a carry, you'll never lose a game, ever. And especially against a team like Iowa that's built to stop the run. That's kind of their calling card. To outrush them and out-physical them, I think it says a lot about the program and the direction of the program. Karis, Washington, and Beth, I heard you guys had lunch with Steely. Hope you guys had a good time over at Twin Peaks, our partner. Thanks for the deuce, and thank you for being an Ultra member as well. The season is already moving too fast, Nevada OH. I agree. I mean, I enjoy every single second of football season, because, again, I'll blink and I'll be watching nothing but stupid NBA basketball, which I don't care about, and baseball and all these other dumb sports. Like, when football's over, it's a sad moment in time for all of us, because we love watching football. I love that there's games now. I love that Miami Cal kicks off at like 10:30 at night. Like, I'll say watch that whole thing. I'll be studying the Oregon stuff, so I'll be ready to go for our show tomorrow. But again, I'm telling you guys, enjoy this team. Enjoy it. Because when they're gone, you'll be like, God, you remember how good that team was? Yes, I do. Because I actually paid attention and I enjoyed it. I didn't sit around and cry about every little dumb thing that I could. But again, like I said, I love watching these. I love Chip Kelly as our offensive coordinator. Like, it's like I live in a dream watching our scheme right now, because it's so fun to watch. And I watch his stuff and I'm just like, that is so hard to go against, so hard to cover. So yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying every second of it. Nevada, the season is moving too fast, is it not?
The season is moving too fast, but Washington just went ahead of Michigan 7-0. So it's a beautiful thing, man. I love college football. I love days like today. Vanderbilt beats Alabama. Just everything. Why college football is so great. It's the greatest game. I know. With all respect to the NFL, college football is just better. It's just more exciting. It's not. I'm not saying better, higher quality or whatever it is, but just everything about college football is just fun. And today was a fun day, and beating this Iowa team was a fun day. It was a fun game to watch, and on Oregon, and we're exactly where we want to be going to this game. No excuses. If we lose, we lose. But I think the Buckeyes are going to acquit themselves very well. It's going to take a perfect effort by somebody to even stay competitive with this team over 60 minutes. So I really like our chances.
I totally agree. All right, Nevada, let's wrap this thing up. Any final thoughts?
No, just great day for the Buckeyes. Took another step. Really showed some things that we hadn't seen before. We showed how do we respond against a power rushing team, and that was a question mark. Are we tough enough on defense to just line against somebody who's going to, because they wanted to just line it up and run it down our throat, and we just stuffed those guys, and that was a beautiful thing. And offensively, our offensive line continues to do work. Will Howard was incredibly precise, and our running backs were doing stuff, and we showed how deep we are. You can drop off Carnell Tate off the out of the starting lineup, and Emeka just chips in 3, and JJ goes for 1 more as well. So lots to be excited about headed into the Oregon game.
Yeah, I'm excited. It is here, folks. This is the best time ever for you to join BuckeyeScoop.com. BuckeyeScoop.com is your home for all inside information regarding Ohio State football. Again, we've got people all through the Woody Hayes Athletic Center giving us really good tidbits about what's going on, especially this week going into Oregon. We're going to have all kinds of good information for you guys. So join BuckeyeScoop.com. If you guys enjoy this content, please leave us a like, click subscribe, also click that little alert bell. Again, appreciate you guys so much for all that you guys do. This show is growing like crazy. We'll have a big film breakdown show tomorrow. Get you guys ready for the Oregon game. Get you all the little tidbits that you need to be ready to go. To be the best damn fans in the land. So I appreciate you guys so much. You guys want to do something spectacular, give us a follow on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Search Buckeye Scoop. Again, we appreciate you guys for all that you guys do. We're going to roll into the Saturday. There's a lot of good football going on right now. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And we'll be back tomorrow about 7 o'clock. Ready to roll and have a nice film breakdown show for you. That being said, thank you so much, Buckeye Nation, and thank you, Scoop family. We will talk to you guys tomorrow night. You guys have a great rest of your night. Go Bucks.